Hey, this is KT.
This is Carrah,
and welcome to Life in the Party,
your unofficial guide to growing up and having fun. So Katie and I have not talked in like a month, 3 weeks. We got in a really big fight. And just kidding. No, we've been really busy. Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of like catch up during this episode and share what's been going on, share books we've been reading, and that's it.
And that's it. Yeah, just books, nothing else.
Books and catch up. That's it.
Ketchup.
Oh,
and ketchup, not ketchup, the condiment.
No, not ketchup. Catch up.
I was very confused for a second. I was like, I got nothing to say about ketchup. But I would love to share with you guys about my first backpacking trip that I've ever been on, ever. So
I thought you went backpacking on your geology camp.
No, we were always camping out of cars and going on like long day hikes. Or we had like a campsite and would go off and do stuff, but we never were like backpacking our own gear miles and miles and then setting up tents and then hiking back carrying a bunch of shit. So I am a complete novice when it comes to that. The most I've done is like car camping, just very easy, chill camping with a lot less stress.
I was a more experienced camper than you then.
You were backpacking? Oh, did you do that in Bali?
No. Ryan and I went camping up a couple times where we had to carry everything on our backs.
Ooh. Where?
North Carolina.
Oh. Yeah. It's a lot. I enjoyed it. After like looking back on everything. I was like, that was fun. But also I was like, you know what? Car camping's also really nice. You know what's nice is not carrying shit on your back for 17 miles.
So wait, how did this trip come about? Like, why did you go on it?
Yeah, so this is the Conundrum Hot Springs hike around Aspen out in Colorado. And I've seen little bits and bobs about it because you sort of hike up a trail. Bits and bobs. Like little things here and there, like Reddit or someone I know did the hike and they thought it was cool or whatever. And it looked really pretty from the pictures I saw. Like I was on an all trails binge of just like Colorado hikes. And it always had like a ton of good stuff about it. But it's cool because it's in the Maroon Bells wilderness of Aspen, which is really pretty. But at the very top of the trails, like an out and back, very top is a hot spring that you can go like sit in because it's like.
Do people get in it nude?
Probably. I think because Daniel did it before a few years ago before I met him. And he was like, yeah, people were nude up there, just whatever. And I was like, interesting.
Was he nude?
He didn't say so. He said he didn't get in the water because it's kind of like algae.
But maybe he was nude and not in the water. He was just standing naked looking at everybody else.
I mean, probably not, but maybe. I don't know. It's a very, hippy-dippy kind of vibe for maybe some. I wore a bathing suit because I was like,
Clayton?
Bathing suits. We all had bathing suits on.
Okay.
So we were good. We were also the only people there at that time in the water part of the hot spring. So anyways, I heard about this hike for a while. Never been backpacking before, and my brother has gone some. So like this summer I saw that they were opening with the permits because you have to have a permit to camp in that area. So I was like, we could go on it's roughly 17 miles. So like 8.5 to the hot spring and then 8.5 back to the parking lot.
Where do you camp? Do you camp at the hot spring?
You can. So our campsite was half a mile from the hot spring. So, but like in the like very top, we would just walk up for like 10 minutes and then it was there. But we were like the closest campsite like to the parking lot. AKA it was 7.9 miles from the parking lot instead of being 8.4 miles from the parking lot. Which honestly was the best thing that could have happened at that time. But I saw they were opening up permits. I was like, Clayton, let's go. It would be fun. Why not? Never gone backpacking. It's supposed to be beautiful. And he was like, okay, cool. Let's just do September. So I rented a site with a few people, tried to get some other people to go, but everyone was busy. So Clayton brought one of his friends from North Carolina with us. So it was just us three going out there. They flew out here Thursday. We did a bunch of errands to REI. I know jack shit about camping nowadays. Last time I ever really thought about like tents and all that stuff was so long ago. So I was able to actually borrow a backpack, poles, sleeping pad and like a tent from one of my friends here, Ashley. So shout out Ashley. Thank you so much. I would have died if I did not have your stuff. But I didn't realize with backpacking you have to be very careful of the weight that you bring, because a pound over 8 miles could be like the worst. So we were looking at all of our tents and I was like, oh, the one I borrowed was like 5 pounds or something. And Clayton's like, well, I have a 2-person tent that's like 1.5 pounds. So I was like, oh, sweet. That's something I don't have to carry a tent now. So we ended up like sharing a tent. And then his friend had a tent too that was light too. But I was like, that freed me up to carry some more food and things like that, because I just never really thought about how important. And rock. I did not bring any rocks back, but I thought about it. I really did. I was like,
is that illegal?
Not there. Certain places you can't take rocks, like national parks, I think, and stuff. You can't take any rocks, or sacred sites, but I don't think it was technically illegal. I was just like, if I bring, because I only want to bring big rocks back. That's like a solid 5 to 10 pounds of rock that I should not have been doing. I cried about that to myself. But we ended up like buying all this compression gear to shrink like the sleeping bags. I got this little like blow up pillow, kind of all these little things that you need to not die, I guess. Clayton had the stove.
I don't think you die without a pillow.
No, but just be comfortable. But I just never really thought about it, because I was just like, bring the pillow off my bed to go sleep in a car, kind of thing. It wasn't like, I never had to think about it in this way before, of like maxing out space and weight and all of these things. So that was a quite interesting learning experience. I had no clue about anything. And so we just got a ton of gear, got these actually pretty solid freeze-dried meals that were
I love camping food.
There's some new ones.
I would eat it normally.
Good.
I would eat it for like a normal, yeah.
Oh yeah. It was actually pretty good. I was like, hell yeah. We had like dried fruits. I made sandwiches. So we had sandwiches to do and everything. I guess now they have these like water filters that you can just screw on top of a smart water bottle. And then you can like fill up in a string and it'll filter as you like drink out of it. So I was like, hell yeah, we don't have to carry 1 billion pounds of water, because water's a lot of weight. Anyways, day of the hike. It was on Saturday. We wake up at 3 a.m. from Denver and drive 3.5 hours into Aspen. I took the first leg and it was dark, I think, the entire way we got there. And we're just like, oh damn, stop by McDonald's, grab some food. By the time we get to Aspen, it's probably like 7 something. And the parking lot is already full because the people who are at the top haven't come down yet. And like you could tell, like we got the last spot in the parking lot at 7 a.m. And
what if you didn't have a spot?
We would have had to wait till someone came down, left, and pulled in, because you can't like, it's like a road and then parking lot. So you can't like park on the road or people can't get out. So
wow.
We were sort of like lucky on that front. We're like, whoo, thank G. It started to freaking rain. So we're like, I don't really want to hike in the rain. Let's just like take a nap in the car. Because obviously we all got up at like 3 o'clock. So we all just like lay in the car and fall asleep for like 1.5 hours or so because it kept raining. And so by the time it was done raining, it was probably like 9 something. And it's like, okay, well, we probably need to get going, because you obviously want to be at the end of the trail before it gets dark so you can set everything up. But when we got out of the car, if you look at like the tops of the mountains, we're like, oh shit, it snowed. Like at the high elevations, we're like, damn, okay, cool, snow, great, awesome.
And that's where you guys were hiking too, is where the snow was?
Well, so we were kind of in like a valley. Think of the sea. So the hot spring is like here and we were here. So we were like in between these 2 mountains ranges, just going along, because we're following a river, creek, all the way up to the hot spring. So we were just like stream, river. I think it's called Conundrum Creek. So we followed that pretty much all the way up. So we were looking at like the parking, like it was like snowy here, and we're like, okay, well maybe it'll be snowy there. So you're going from like, I think it was like 8,000 to like 10,000 elevation change. We did 2,700 total feet, which is a lot when you don't have any oxygen and are carrying, I think we ended up about averaging around 25 pounds per person. And I also didn't know how to use walking sticks. So I did not know how to hike.
I know your hair color looks really pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Is it new or something?
No, I think it just maybe like lightened up a bit, or I have some like really good lighting right now. But thank you. Anyways, we get on the hike and we're just, cruising. I didn't prepare physically as much as I should. Like I just was going on walks around like the city. I wasn't really going out and doing hikes elsewhere, which I probably should have done. So, but we all knew I was going to be slow. We had like 8 hours to get to the top before it was dark. So it wasn't like we were in a rush. So we start going, we get through some of these like little fields, you start seeing aspens and you're following the water and spruces.
Can
And
you show some pictures?
Oh yeah. And we probably walked through some of the prettiest landscape I have ever seen in my entire life. It was amazingly beautiful because at this time of year right now, and at the elevation height we were at, we were seeing a lot of the aspens changing color, which was really cool. So like this is one little trail that we followed in. That's not aspens, but you could just see like we have like fall colors going. Like it's almost like the photos don't do it justice in any way, shape, or form. But I remember we were walking out, so like you can see some of the aspens there. And then you have like snowy mountain ranges.
It's also just like the vastness of things like that is really pretty.
Exactly.
Which doesn't really translate in a photo.
It doesn't. Here's my brother with stuff. Like we're just seeing these giant valleys with mountains that are just like thousands of feet on either side. Aspens are starting to change color from like their greens to yellows. It wasn't fully changed, but it was like, you could see the yellow showing up. You could see some reds on the mountain peaks, but it was the vastness and like the brightness of everything was amazing. It was probably, I don't underestimate it when I say it was one of the prettiest things I've probably ever seen in my life.
Besides me?
Yeah, besides you. And like some other things too, but like,
Wait, but talk about, you glazed over
everything else about
how hard it was. Like,
yes,
you were like, yeah, I should have trained, but like, why? Like, what was your actual experience?
Because it was
like
8 miles, and I was like, what is 8 miles on my step counter? What does that like fucking look like? How many steps is that? And I tracked our steps over both days, and I think I totaled over 50,000 steps. So I was like, oh, okay. So our first day was like 23. And I was like, oh, it's just a really long Clemson football game day where you would like walk from the apartment to the stadium and then around all the tailgates, then back it around and then go out and back and stuff. So I was like, it's just a really long day. I think that's fine. But I didn't really take into account the like just the steady upward pace of everything.
And carrying all the weight on you.
Yeah. So I kind of underestimated that, but we never really like had any like issues with that. But like as we got later into the hike, we were probably around like mile 5. You could sort of start seeing like there were some rain clouds, as in you could see like clouds in the mountain valley. Like, oh shit, okay, cool, it's raining. So we saw one very close. It was maybe like 100 yards away. So we're like, okay, cool, we need to set up Clayton's like fly tent really quick. So we like just sat down in this tent for like 20 minutes waiting for it to rain, but it never did. And like by mile 5, I was like, oh shit, we are slowing down. We are taking breaks because it was like murder. And there is
going 5 miles without a break is a long time.
Well, we took breaks. We had like lunch and some water like at that time, but like by mile 5, I was like starting to really get tired. Yeah, and we were at that point we started like actually ascending, like instead of just doing like a gradual thing, we were actually doing like actual ascent. So every step was just like a little bit harder, and you're getting less oxygen because you're higher elevation. Everything's feeling heavier. We had to cross like 10 feet of a creek that didn't have a bridge over it because there were a couple other crossings, but they had bridges. This one didn't. So we all had to like take our shoes off and walk in like snow melt water across a creek. It was very
How
cold.
deep was it?
To my knees, but it was very, very, very cold. But you could tell the storms were getting a little bit cloudier. And we get up to mile like 7, and I'm like, taking my sweet ass time, stopping, not like, just trying to be obtuse. And Clayton's like, all right, stop taking pics. We got to like get up to the top because it's getting a little later. Our pace is a little slow. And he's like, I'm nervous about those clouds up there. And I was like, big facts. So I walked 0.01 mile faster because that's all I could actually do. I was like, you know what? I am just going to be like this. Yeah. You should go ahead. So like at this time it was pretty warm in the valley because of all the sun. So I had like a sweatshirt and shorts on. And then the clouds started to come in more. We're like a mile away. It starts sleeting and hailing, like very small little hail drops.
But you only had a mile left.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
So we were like, okay. We were still going like kind of slow because you're still going like very uphill at that point. But we're like, shit, it's snowing. I'm in shorts. And it's like actively sleeting.
What was the temperature when you guys like were hiking?
When we left in the morning, it was like cool, probably in like the 60s. But by the time we were like walking in the valleys, when the sun was out, it felt warm. Like I was in shorts and I was still kind of hot. But as we got up higher, it got a little bit colder. But I was still like, we're in the zone. Then once it got cloudy, I was like, okay, it's cool now. But if I stop, it's gonna take longer. So I kind of was just like, it's fine. We'll walk in the snow some. So me and Will, my brother's friend, were just sort of like chilling. Clayton had the tents. He's like, I'm just gonna run up as fast as possible to get to the tent and get it set up because I'm afraid this storm's gonna get worse. So like he just sort of like books it up there because he hikes a lot more. He lives in Nashville and he just goes on hikes all the time. And so me and Will are just like, okay, cool, we're coming. We'll get there. It's starting to sleet more. It doesn't stop. It's getting colder and colder. As
like,
we're
what's
like
the temperature?
Maybe like high 30s. We're like in shorts and like a light sun sweatshirt. We're hiking. Clayton was like, there's a forest, then a little field, then a forest, a little field, and then you're there. So we're like, okay, this is the forest. Okay, cool, we made it through the field. Okay, we made it through the forest. And then finally we were like, okay, we made it into like the area where the campsites were. And we're like, okay, we're campsite 19. We looked at the sign, we're like, why does the sign only say 20? So we just kept walking. We walked another like quarter of a mile before we saw site 16. And we were like, did we just walk extra in this fucking snow, sleet shit to miss our campsite? So we have to turn back around. Clayton comes up, he's like, I was wondering where you were, grabs my bag, and we like run down to the campsite.
Did you guys just walk like past him?
No, because it was like a trail that went down. And then we looked at the sign and we realized, oh, it said 17 to 20. But the way it was written, we couldn't tell at that time. So we just passed it. And we were like, fuck, we walked so much more. It's so cold out. By that time, I was actually starting to get very cold because, again, I was in shorts and it was like pretty much snowing at that point. I was like, fuck, okay, cool. So we like run down, get in the tent, and then I immediately start crying. Because I was like, oh my God, we made it. Like a relief, like we did this. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so upset. You know, I was just more like, okay, great.
What were Clayton and Will doing when you were crying?
Clayton was trying to be like, it's okay. You know, like he gave me a hug. He was like, it's fine. Will was setting up his own tent. So he was just like, whatever, you know? So we were just sort of like, okay, let's just chill until the snow ends. Then we can figure out what we want to do. And then I think like we pull out the sleeping bags and just sort of like chill. I end up just like laying there for a while and Clayton and Will fall asleep. And then I at some point it's like 6:30 and I was like, I start kicking the snow off the tent and then we actually look outside and there's like 2 inches of snow on the ground and it's like still snowing. And I'm like, are we gonna die here?
Wait, why?
And then I started crying again.
Like, 'cause you would be too cold?
I didn't think we were prepared for like a snowstorm. And if it snowed a lot, that could have been really bad, like a foot, you know? Like I was like, are we actually prepared for this? Because I'd never done it before. Did you
guys know it was gonna snow at all?
We knew there was a chance of rain. It's hard to get accurate weather data for like campsites out there. Like I knew in Aspen there was a chance of rain at this time, but at our altitude that was actually snow for a few hours. And so at this time I was like, all right, Clayton, like what are we gonna do? It's like starting to get kind of dark.
When did you lose service? We
lost service the second we got off the trailhead. So we had nothing. Like,
wait, but when was that? When is getting off the trailhead?
Oh, when we started at 10, like at 9:30 in the morning.
One more question.
Yes.
Did you guys see anyone else while you were hiking and when you set up camp?
Yeah, there were people who passed us. We could see people coming down. There were some day hikers running around. So like there were people there. But the thing is, we got to the campsite, our area had like 4 camping people. And so we got out and we're like, okay, cool, it's snowing. We just decided to move the tent to a different spot so it wouldn't be directly getting snowed on. And then it just kept snowing and I'm starting to like actually freak out because I was very unsure of what was going to happen. I was like, Clayton, if this
you'd never
like,
done that before either.
Yeah, I was like, if we get more snow than this, we're going to have a bad time. But we all knew the weather said it wasn't supposed to, but you sometimes never know. There's always stories of people getting trapped in snowstorms in these mountains because like in the fall, they just like pop up because it can be so cold at the top. So I get out and I'm like, Clayton's starting to like do a couple things. And I was like, well, let me go see if anyone else is near us. And there was one campsite near ours that had people on it. but I could see they still had a bunch of gear on. I was like, hey, hello, how are you? And they're like,
you're like crying.
okay.
You're like, hey.
Well, this was like after I was like, no, this was I think before I really started crying, because then they were like, we're leaving. I went, what? They're like, it was like 7:00 at night. It was like close to dark, pretty much. They're like, no, we're hiking back. We don't have the gear for this. We don't. Our fly saturated. Our sleeping bags aren't rated for this cold of weather. We're leaving. And I was like, that's fucking 8 miles back. Are you insane?
No
Like,
wonder you were crying after that.
yeah. So they left and it was just us in this area. And so I was like, Clayton, they're leaving. What are we doing? And I start crying. So I'm like, I literally was like, are we going to die here? I literally thought we were. And he was like, we're not going to die. Our sleeping bags are warm enough. We do have warm food. And then we lost the lighter for a little bit. So we were like, do we actually have warm fuel for the food? And so once we found that, we're like, okay. Then Clayton's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We just have to like eat our food. Then we'll just go to bed. It'll be fine. And so the whole time I'm like, we had hot hands. So we each all had our hot hands. And I were putting them on different spots of my body under the sleeping bag all night. Just like, okay, it's in my hands. Now it's in my knees. Now it's like up here. Now it's whatever. And then my sleeping bag broke. And so it was getting some air in. So I was like very cold, like most of the night. I think I probably slept like 5 hours. But we didn't die. And it stopped snowing like at night. So we probably got a few inches of snow. But I was just like, this is so much. So much.
How did you feel when you woke up in the morning?
The whole time I was hoping I just didn't have to pee. So I didn't have to get out in the snow and go do that. So I kept just being like, I think I really woke up at like midnight for a couple hours and then was able to fall back asleep again. But once it hit daylight and I saw that it stopped snowing, I was like, okay, cool. We might actually not die. This will be okay. We'll get through this. It'll be fine.
Did you take any selfies when you were crying?
No, I was losing it. So like this was our campsite in the snow.
I want to see pictures of like when you were really stressed, and then I want to see pictures of like the next day.
I don't think I have a picture of me crying, but like this is Clayton cooking from inside the tent because we couldn't get out of it. So like that's the little like because he's like, I'm not even sitting out because of all the snow and everything. And this was like the valley we were at in the next morning.
Pretty.
So yeah, it was beautiful. It was so pretty.
So what'd you guys do the next day?
But the next day was the day we went to the hot spring. So we wake up, make breakfast, have some coffee, then walk up to the hot springs. Other people are starting to leave because they did all that yesterday because they walked a lot faster than we did. That's on me. But that's okay. So it was just us up at the top. And it was probably, and this is where you can sort of see the like hot spring in the valley there.
That's cute.
That's me. And there was like
that's
little
huge. I thought it was going to be like a lot smaller.
Yeah, no, that's Clayton and his friend like in this valley. You could see like this is the Maroon Bells Mountain.
Pretty.
Like right behind the sun. It's kind of hard to see because it's a little bit dark of a picture, but like it was probably again so freaking pretty. The water was like 70s to 80s. And oh, there's me again in front of the mountain. So like,
are you nude there?
No, I have a bathing suit on.
You look nude.
I'm not nude. Not nude. But it was like warm enough that we were like, okay, cool, we're warming up. It was probably like in the 40s, 50s outside by the time we got up there. And so we're like, could sit in the water for like an hour and just sort of like shit talk. It was warm.
Warm.
I did my first
warm.
I did my first digging a hole poop, which was fun. Because you
ew, Katie, trigger warning. Please.
I was like hoping I wouldn't have to, but I was like, I can't help it. So that was the first time I've ever had to do that.
Katie, didn't we do that?
Really?
I guess we didn't do that on any of our class trips.
No, there were always bathrooms because like imagine a bunch of 8th graders shitting in the. There was an outhouse at one of them.
I remember that. You remember that?
Yeah, the spookiest outhouse you've ever been in your entire life. But,
no, I would say that would have to be at a USC game.
I've done so when I did the Grand Canyon rafting trip, we did ammo cans because you couldn't dig in the river beds and stuff, so you had to poop in an ammo can, and then
what did you do with the can?
You had to bring it out with you. I left before it got too bad, but that's just what you had to do.
Ew.
So that was interesting. But then we all had to like, if we want to be out here at a reasonable time, we probably got to start boogieing down this mountain.
I'm surprised you guys only stayed for one night.
Yeah, well, we didn't like
a lot.
It is a lot for one night, but also carrying up a lot of gear for 2 nights was something. I don't think we were like expecting to do anything else, and it to maybe take a little bit shorter time to get around and do things. So you probably could have done more things yesterday, but with the snow, that wouldn't have happened really, anyways. So like,
wait, what do you mean yesterday?
Or I meant Saturday. I don't know why I said yesterday. It's been that was over the weekend. It wasn't now. But anyways, post hot tub, we have lunch there. We eat some sandwiches that we brought. Not hot tub, obviously. It's a hot spring. It's not a hot tub. We climb back down and pack everything up and start meandering our way down the mountain, which honestly was a lot better doing that than I was climbing up until mile 4 when my knee started hurting. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I had fucking 4 miles to go, and that really slowed me down more so than before. So
have you felt that before?
No. It was like, I think an overuse, because by that time we've already, from the campsite to the spring and back was already a mile. So I was already 5 miles in on walking. And from everything yesterday, probably wasn't as rested as I should have been, you know, but
you keep saying yesterday.
Saturday. Oh my God. It feels like yesterday. So I kind of was just like, great, cool, my knee. And luckily Clayton had like lidocaine, so I would like put some on, took some Advil, and was like, well, I mean, can't fucking stop. We gotta keep walking. So just slowly made our way down. There was this group of girls that we saw going up and then passed us going back down. They did the whole 16 miles in like one day.
Damn.
Crazy. I was like, holy shit. You girls
are fast.
I was like, damn. And Clayton's like, this is what you should be doing. I was like, you know what? Facts. But also no, that's a lot. 16 miles in a day? Hell no. But they also weren't carrying 25 pounds. So if I didn't have to carry 25 pounds on my back, I probably could have walked a lot faster. So we make our way out, stopping for snacks. Again, still so beautiful, so pretty. Fall leaves, you had cool breezes, you had snow on the mountains. It was just so amazingly beautiful. So we finally made it back at like 5:30. Saw a deer. We saw some cute little bluebirds and stuff like that. So some chipmunks and marmots, which was neat. But we were finally done. I thought I was like hallucinating trucks, because I was like, what are these white things up in front of me? Are these white stones? There's no way we're at the parking lot. And I walk and I'm like, oh my God, it is the parking lot. No wonder. Because I was like, I felt like at the last mile, I was like, I have been walking what feels like for my entire life. Are we fucking here yet? Like, are we here yet? And going downhill hurt, slightly going uphill hurt. I was like, are we fucking done? Are we fucking done yet? And I the whole hike, I didn't really complain about being like, are we there yet or anything crazy. But at this time I was just like, all right, you have to be close. Like, I just can't keep guessing how much further it is. I kept like disappointing myself, being, oh, it's around this corner. Just kidding. Oh, it's around this corner. No, it's not. So that was frustrating as hell. But we finally made it, and we went to Home Team Barbecue in Aspen, which is funny because they have a restaurant in Charleston.
That is
Aspen,
crazy.
Yeah, because Clayton was like, oh, there's this place called, what's it called? Home Team? And I was like, Home Team? Like, Home Team. It's a Charleston fucking restaurant. He's like, there's one here? I was like, yeah, I don't know why. They just do.
Don't they have the Game Changers or whatever?
I think so, yeah. But I was like hobbling, like I literally was walking like this because my legs hurt so. And I had a pair of leggings on and then shorts on over those.
You were walking like SpongeBob.
Yeah, I really was. I was like, I can't do this. It was a rough look, but I was like, I'm alive. You know what? I'm alive. We're here. We're survived.
You like walk into Home Team and you like slam the door open with one hand and you're like, we almost died. And Clayton's like, Katie, shut up.
But Clayton's like, I learned a few lessons, and it's bring more than one lighter, and make sure you watch the weather a little bit better. But luckily we were prepared for rain, which made us prepared for the snow. Yeah. If we were not prepared for rain, we would have had a much worse time. but it luckily didn't snow enough that it would have like been actually detrimental, just been like uncomfortable, you know? So
Yeah.
we made it, we survived, and then I drove 3.5 hours back. We got back at like 10.
I'm
So
surprised you had to drive.
well, I started driving, and then by the time we got gas and stuff, I was just like, I'm just gonna keep driving, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just plus I drive faster than they do, so I was like, time to go. We're getting home as fast as possible.
Would you do another hike that's like that long without training?
I think I would do it again. But I think what I have heard from this hike is that the main criticism is that it is a very long hike. A lot of like the best things are just like, you know, go on loops and you hike for 5 miles. And that way you have more time for other things too. But like the 8 miles in and the 8 miles back can be really long. I mean, it was so pretty that I would do something like that again, for sure. Now that I know more about backpacking and other things, like I think I gotta get a new sleeping bag. So that would even be lighter and stuff like that. But I also greatly value not backpacking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's also nice? Not being 8 miles away from your car, being like, I actually can't leave if I could, you know? Like,
yeah,
that was definitely the weirdest part of being like, we're here because we can't leave. The stranded aspect of that felt really uncomfortable. And that's kind of why I got upset, because I was sort of like, we actually can't go. There's nothing anyone can do. We literally just have to wait.
You didn't have any control over what was happening.
And I know it sounds like maybe we're complaining or painting this in a bad light, but knowing how it ended, everything was great. It worked out as well as it could. We were mostly prepared. Like, we didn't have to leave like some other people did, you know, like we were tough, and the hot spring was amazing. It was 100% worth it.
I don't think you sounded like you were complaining. I think you have to be like honest and real about what the experience was like. And the reality is that it was really hard on you physically, and like it was beautiful.
Yeah. Will and Clayton were like, well, if this is your first time, it honestly wouldn't ever really be any worse than this. It's like you kind of went through like one of the worst things you can go through is like an unprepared snowstorm. Then like everything's a piece of fucking cake moving forward if you want to do it again. And I was like, well, I mean, I would never be opposed to doing it again, knowing what I know now. But it was also so like I would do it in a heartbeat.
Kind of nice when you are the weak link out of the group and you're not like, it's you that you're worried about, and it's not somebody else that you're like, oh my god, this person, or oh my god, this person got hurt, now what are we gonna do? It's kind of nice when it's like you. Yeah,
I could be the one that had the freak out. Yeah, and everyone else is just like, it's fine. And Clay was
you have
like
all
fine.
the like prepared, supportive people around you to like help you through it, which is ideal. Yeah, it sounds like you went with the right people.
Yeah, exactly. And I also had my breakdown. I was just like, okay, after I had my little like cry session for a minute, I was like, all right, now what can I do to help? So I turned it into, well, Clayton, what do you mean? He's like, go collect snow, go do this. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. It was tender.
That's cute.
And I made it. I was so proud of myself for making it. You know, like that kind of like relief of like, I did something tough that I knew I could do, but at the same time, like easily could have said no. And I pushed myself and I made it. And I was like, yes.
So, that's awesome.
And then we treated ourselves when we got back after a couple of days to Alma Fondafina, Michelin star restaurant here in Denver. We ordered 2 of the scallops, Carrah. They had the scallop dish.
I don't want to hear about it.
I had when she was here. We had, and the avocado margarita and a couple other little things that were just so good. So good. So good. And we walked around the botanical gardens with Daniel, which was really nice as well. So I love showing people the botanical gardens. So it was a really fun trip. And that was like most of the things that I've been doing outside applying for jobs this past week. So thank you for joining me on my lovely backpacking trip. I am now an expert. So reach out to me if you have any questions. And I'll email them to my brother.
I would love to hear your brother's perspective on the trip. Just call him and ask him how it was.
Wait, right now?
Yeah, why not?
This is his picture from freshman year of college. I haven't updated the photos.
Let me see.
Hey, I'm recording a podcast right now. We'd like you to give a little blurb about what you thought about the backpacking trip. Care to share? a quick sentence?
Well, sure.
Okay, what'd you think? I sort of went through everything, but we want to hear someone who's not me talking about what they thought of it.
Well, shit, now I don't know what you said.
I just talked about the snowstorm and how I cried and everything else.
Okay, I'll cover the rest of it then. I thought it was great. A nice fun trail. It wasn't too hard. It was nice being out there with you and Will.
Nice.
Aww.
We didn't die.
Yeah, never were going to.
Well, once I realized that in the morning. I didn't quite realize that at night.
Yeah, once you woke up.
I woke up very cold a few times, being like, I'm so cold. What was your favorite part?
I don't know, like of individual parts, like the hot tub was really nice. So.
Yeah.
I like how Clayton also called it a hot tub.
We be calling it a hot tub.
I mean, it was big enough. It felt like it was pretty big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the views were great. I was saying you got to kind of. I showed some pics on the video, and I was like, you kind of have to see it. The pics don't do it justice. They really don't.
Yeah, that's for all nature photography. Just any sort of vista, it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
What's the next hike you guys are going on together?
I don't know. The one I'm doing next year, guaranteed, is me and Will are gonna do Mont Blanc loop in Europe. It's about 10 days.
In the Alps, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, it goes around Mont Blanc in southern France / Italy.
That sounds like
Wow.
fun.
Yeah, it's 10 days though, so.
But you're not walking 8 miles every day, right?
Yeah, probably about.
Oh, damn.
Katie, you gonna crash it?
Probably not. I'm trying to crash. They were also talking about doing Machu Picchu, so I would crash that one.
Yeah.
Do it.
So, yeah. But then you could hire someone to carry your shit for you, too. So it makes it lighter.
That. She's gonna be looking that up immediately.
Yeah. That shit was heavy.
And the thing is, like, that you didn't even have a tent. I had your tent, almost all of the food, and your water.
Katie, you said you were carrying 25 pounds.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I carry like when I travel to the airport in my backpack.
It was,
Like in
well,
the
I had
carry-on.
my backpack, had my sleeping pad, I had my clothes, I had some water, I had some snacks. Is that all I carried?
Yeah, like Katie, when we woke up the next day and I was packing shit up, you were like, "Here, can you carry this? Hey, can you carry this? What about this?" And I was just like, "Shit, are you carrying fucking anything?"
You did make me carry other stuff though. So I was just sort of giving the thing of if I carried less, I could walk.
Katie was
faster.
carrying the emotional load.
Yeah.
And the
I
picture
took the
load.
water so that she wouldn't stop as much and would have to wait for me to stop.
You took the water.
So that kept us going for a bit quicker, I think.
I would be like, "Can we stop in the next forest for water?"
That's really cute.
That is cute. It was a very fun time. So, any other questions?
No, I'm glad you guys had fun.
Yeah. I learned a lot. I'm now an expert.
Okay. I'll just say, understand any backpacking trip you go on, right, isn't going to be as easy. I'm not going to be there carrying all the shit, and there's not going to be a hot tub at the end of it.
That's true.
It's kind of like it's only downhill from here. The only good aspect is you won't die. So.
Yeah. But all right, thanks, Clayton. I'll give you a call later for Dad's birthday.
All right, cool. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we got Clayton's opinion on the hike. Do you want to talk about some of your stuff?
Speed round. I'll say like one sentence. This will be fun. I'll say one sentence about the things that I've been up to.
Then I have to guess something about it.
No. I'm just gonna give like a one sentence update about each thing.
Okay.
One, I went to Michaela's bachelorette party.
Mm-hmm. How was it?
That was my sentence. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
It was really fun and relaxing and
How was
really
the wine?
cute.
It was really cute.
Yeah, like her whole aesthetic and vibe and decor and everything was just like really pretty and thoughtful. But the funny thing is, I guess I'm not doing the one sentence update. The funny thing is that it was like the cherry on top themed, but we all learned that she doesn't like cherries. We went to this really cool winery called Donham Estate, and they have like these sculptures outside.
Ooh.
And so the tour there was like more about the art. Like the guy was pouring us wine as we were walking around outside, and he was talking about the art. So that I liked that, because I'm not like super interested in knowing much about wine.
You're just like, do I like it or not?
Yeah, I don't really like listen that much to it. Maybe one day I'll care, but I just have a difficult time caring. But that was great. What else have I been up to? I don't really want to talk about work stuff.
Hell no.
Unless I'm getting paid to talk about work stuff. Well, I have a trip coming up in DC in October, and that's for an Amine concert. Yes. And then my friend Anne is having her 30th birthday also at like our old building. And then my friend Paul just texted me like a few days ago saying that Louis the Child is doing a block party in DC that same weekend that I'm there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
there you
how
go.
crazy is that?
The timing is perfect.
Because they only have like a couple of shows scheduled, and it is just like this random block party in Union Market, and it's also free.
Is it like a pop-up or something?
I guess so. They're like, I don't know. They're doing it like in partnership with like this event company in DC.
I see.
So maybe it's trying to get like this event company off the ground. I don't really know what the connection is. But I'm excited. What else?
You went to Chicago?
Yeah, but that was for work.
But with Akivian?
Yeah, I went to Chicago with Akivian. We were there for like a day and a half. It was really relaxing. We kind of just like walked around, chilled, explored the neighborhood, ate some food, got some coffee and matcha.
Mm-hmm. Did you get any deep dish?
No.
Not that time. Do you like deep dish?
I don't like deep dish.
Okay.
There's like this one place in DC. I'm not a pizza connoisseur, but called Red Light. And I feel like that's Detroit style pizza.
Okay.
I like that place.
Crustier pizza.
But I'm not a deep dish gal.
It's a casserole at that point. It's not pizza or something. It's like soup.
We ate Mexican food, Italian food. I had a breakfast taco. And then we had like food from like an American restaurant.
Hell yeah.
Hi, girly. Kaya, you want to say hi? Come here.
We're always here to say hi to Kaya.
Come here. Come here. Come on. Get up here.
She's being dramatic.
There she is.
There we go. Hi, cutie.
Hello. Look.
Got something to say? She always does.
I know.
She's a big OUT girl. Oh, such a cutie.
But yeah, I did want to talk about, I read a book that I think you would like.
Ooh,
A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. It's supposed to be like an American classic, which I did not know that. But it also has like an old-timey movie because it was written in the 40s. I kind of want to see the movie, but I'm kind of like, is it going to ruin the book because it's like really old? But it's about like mostly class in America in the 40s, or actually it takes place in the early 1900s. It feels like it starts out slow because you're not really sure what the book is about yet, or like if something's going to happen, but it really just like follows this girl's life from like a little girl up until she's like maybe late teens, early 20s. Mm-hmm. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
What'd you like about it? The class discussion or the way it was written? What was your favorite part of it?
It was just cool the author like did grow up in Brooklyn, so it was just kind of cool hearing about what Brooklyn was like way
Mhm.
back in the day, and how like these really poor families didn't leave their neighborhoods, and like some of them had never even been to Manhattan or like know what that was like at all.
Were the subways around, or they just was sort of like never really left their like
They just
designated
wouldn't
neighborhoods?
leave. They didn't have money to really go anywhere unless they got jobs in the city. And just like also not hearing, but like how similar things are today as they were way back then. Over 100 years ago, 120 years ago, things are like
Mhm.
the exact same. So I think that was really interesting. It was also in like specifically one of the topics was talking about like teachers and like what schools were like, public schools were like back then, and that teachers like back then were just taking the job because it was like a reliable paying job, but
Mhm.
not because they cared at all about teaching. And so that's interesting because like now the narrative is kind of like, oh, people do it because they're passionate about it and the pay is really bad. But like back then it was like kind of the opposite. Not that they were getting paid really well, but like there just weren't that many jobs back then.
Mhm. It's probably
And
especially for
so
women too, so.
yeah, and also like just how judgmental everybody was towards women who were not married and did not have children, or if women couldn't get pregnant, or there were lots of like stillbirths back then, and how like even whenever people were like birthing dead children, like they were looked down upon as if it was their
They
fault.
failed. Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff was just like fascinating to read about.
Mhm. Okay, hell yeah, I'll add that to my list.
It's good. I think you'll read it pretty quickly. And then I just got a new book called This Little Life.
Is it sad? I've heard about a book called Something a Little Life that's like supposed to be really sad.
It
Okay.
is supposed to be. But it follows like four guys who were friends in college in New
Mhm.
York, and it follows them like through like their decades of friendship and the different hardships that they go through and like how they're there for each other. And then I think it uncovers later on like some childhood traumas and things like that they went through. But I'm still very early on in that
Mhm.
book.
There's no teardrops on the pages yet.
No. I'm sure there will be, but I'm still at the stage where like I'm getting the guys confused because there's four guys.
Do they have the
And
same
like
name?
it's just it's hard to stick right now.
They're probably
I'm
pretty
like
similar because they're younger now, right?
yeah, and like the names aren't like super super different from each other, and the way the book is written, it flips back and forth talking about different characters like very quickly. Like one paragraph will be on one person, the next paragraph's on another person,
Oh,
and
that's a little tough, yeah.
yeah, and it's telling about like their family dynamics, where they're from, what their jobs are, like what their personalities like. And so I'm keeping some of it straight, but I think I need to like spend like a couple hours reading it without stopping for it to like really stick.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I'm very curious how you think. I've heard good things about it, but I have heard emotional as also
Yeah.
on one of those. So
Yeah.
nothing like a good cathartic cry sesh while you're
I
reading
like
a book, though.
emotional books and
Mhm.
movies. I like them. So
I like feeling, yeah. Me too.
yeah.
I agree.
Some people don't. Some people are like, I've heard people say even recently, like they're like, the world has like enough things to make me sad. Like I don't want to be sad when I'm watching a movie or reading a book. And I'm like, I don't feel that way. I guess I could see how some people feel that way, but
It's
I
not
just want to
about
read. I like a good story.
yeah, it's not about feeling sad. It's like you can read something that's thoughtful without it being emotional, you know? Like
Or I think
they're
that
very
some
good
things
in
that are heartbreaking, like the thing that I'm getting out of it is like way more important than like the feeling
Mhm.
like of sadness.
Yeah. I love that. I'm very curious how you think about it when you're done. And you can give us updates. Give us
I'll
updates.
read some tonight.
I can do a quick update on the books that I've been reading. I just recently finished a really awesome fantasy book called Babel by R.F. Kuang. I actually went to her book signing a couple weeks ago to get her brand new book,
cool.
which was really neat. I'd never been to a book signing with a Q&A before, and you can tell when you're reading something that you're like, this person is fucking smart. Like, Oxford, Cambridge degrees, like all of these different things. She's like 30 and has written like multiple books. Like, it's, and the way the stories talks about like colonialism from the aspect of like an English learning institute called Babel at Oxford takes like kids who know other languages and use their languageness to sort of create magic in a way. So like they have these silver bars, and you kind of will use like the English word for something and then the Chinese or the Greek or whatever word, and that disconnect in what the words actually mean to cause like a magic effect. You know, like the English word for speed, but the French word for velo could have something that makes something go faster because there's sort of like a disconnect in how translation works.
Interesting.
So like it's a very academic book because there's a lot of information on just like the history of translation and like philosophical thought on that work, but it sort of takes a lens of colonialism because it takes place in the 1800s and how they're doing a lot of opium stuff in China at the time. And like of the main people, it was like a Chinese boy, a Indian boy, and a Haitian girl, and then a white girl. And the white girl was sort of like, but you guys are I don't get why you would want to rebel. You're like, you like made it because you're here, you're better than everyone else, look at all the gifts that you have. And they're like, you don't get it because everyone we know is suffering because of all these policies. And you get a lot of those dynamics and drama, and it was very well written. Loved it. It was so good. So but now I took a step in a very different direction with this book called Neon Gods. That's like a horny romantasy book. And I was like, I need a little palette cleanser. I've had it sitting around, and I was like, it's short with big font so I can read it quickly.
Read one line out of it. Do you have it with you?
Not in this room. I can go get it. But it's like Persephone meets Hades when she's trying to get away from Zeus in this city thing, and they need to make Zeus jealous, so they're gonna have public sex or something. I don't know. So that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know, right? I was reading and I was like,
that's some OnlyFans type shit.
It's some very horny stuff. We'll give a review once finished.
Hey, you should do story time on Instagram and post, like, you have to read a paragraph, but you have to bleep out words probably.
It's like, 50 Shades of Grey being kind of like that, but with not BDSM stuff, I guess. So we'll see.
I forgot I actually read that book, but I don't really remember anything about it.
That's okay. I read it too. I read all three of them, and they weren't that good. But yeah, I'm switching things up in a crazy, weird way.
Get it? You gotta get yours,
I'm trying. I'm just also trying to get it out of my apartment. I'm gonna read it and then get it out of the apartment and put it somewhere else.
You're gonna put it in the free little libraries?
Yeah.
Some little kid's gonna be like, oh, cool. Like, what is it called? Neon Gods or something?
Neon Gods. I hope not. Because on the front, it's like unspeakably hot. It's the quote of the book.
They're going to be like, this is about climate change. Thanks for listening today, guys. Katie's hike. I hope that was as riveting of a story to you all as it was to me. That was my first time hearing about it. It made me actually want to go backpacking with Katie. So
it'll be fun. I make things fun and we take a lot of pics. Clayton was like, he didn't say it on the phone, but he did tell me, he's like, it was nice that you did stop some so we could make sure we took pics of things. And sometimes people just like run through stuff.
Especially a guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this is not a race. We're just getting there.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to share some pictures from your hike and to see more pictures.
Oh, hell yeah. It's awesome. And I hope you guys liked it too. But y'all should read some of these books with us.
Yeah, let us know what you're reading.
Yeah.
You little nerds.
A little book club where we all just read different books. And you just tell us and we're like, nice work. Go team.
I guess we could call it a book club. She'll workshop it.
But thank you guys so much.
We love you. And we have a very special guest that will be coming out soon. So we're excited to share that episode with you.
Coming up next. But follow us on TikTok at Life in the Party Pod, and then Instagram and Spotify at Life in the Party.
Yes.
And YouTube also.
And YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Can't see the pictures if you don't go to YouTube.
We're getting an OnlyFans soon too.
Super special content. OTW for y'all.
Okay. We love you.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.